Different cultures, different religions, different people, everybody working together towards a common goal of creating a healthy and civil society. And then finally, the grace. The grace which everybody with different views have come together in last 8 years, in last 2 years for this particular conference, and constantly working to make this happen. So I thank Dr. Garg, and I thank you everybody for coming here tonight and being part of this. And hopefully you'll enjoy the program in the next few days as well. Thank you.
So first off, on behalf of the Royal Columbian Hospital Foundation, I just truly want to put our thanks out to the organizers of this wonderful event, and in particular, Dr. Garg. I know he puts his blood, sweat, and tears and passion into this event, so let's give him some more applause for that. Certainly an event like this, a networking event, wouldn't be possible without other people coming forward and participating. And in that spirit of that collaboration and participation today, you'll find on all your tables a small silver box. Within that box is a pin, a keepsake, that actually shows the logo that was just described to you. It will commemorate CINI 2018. Also in the spirit of collaboration, I'm honored to announce that a special fund has been created at Royal Columbian Hospital. The Special Purpose South Asian Fund has been set up to create leadership within South Asian health. As a very first project, we have chosen to focus on mental health and wellness in the South Asian community. I'm delighted to announce that as of tonight, we have two very, very important donors stepping forward. Dr. Garg personally has made a $10,000 contribution towards this fund, and CINI has also made a similar contribution. So obviously this is a tremendous start, but of course we need to build more momentum towards this. You'll see on all your tables there is a brochure that talks about the fund and our vision for what we want to accomplish with this fund. I would encourage everyone in the room to consider making a donation towards this. As an added benefit, we're very fortunate that some other supporters of CINI have stepped forward and supplied us with some draw prizes for anyone who does make a gift. Very big thanks to BC Blueberry Council, and also many of the physicians participating in CINI have donated books towards us as well. So volunteers will come around, they will collect those brochures from you, and they will draw, and if you are a draw winner, they'll actually bring the prize over to your table. So once again, thank you for your support here tonight, and thank you for considering supporting the Special Purpose South Asian Fund at Royal Columbian Hospital Foundation.
And I was talking to Dr. Garg earlier, and that fund, that important fund, it's one of a kind. It's never been done before, and it's all because of loyalty and faith. So thank you so much for that, Jeff Norris. And before we get into the next part of the program, someone who has a white Mercedes-Benz is parked in a handicap spot, and the last thing we want is for you to get towed. So if you have a white Mercedes-Benz license plate FD1 417, please move your car. All right, so tonight is a night of friendship between two great nations. So let's take that journey, benefiting two great nations, celebrate Canada and India. To tell us more about the journey and the friendship, we would like to call Dr. Joanne Curry on the stage, please. Dr. Joanne Curry is going to take us on the journey and present us with My Canada.
Good evening and namaste. It's an honor to be asked to present a vision of our Canada. I'm a proud Canadian, and proud Canadians love to share. I am going to go through this journey very fast, and I'm going to use a lot of images, so I'll direct your attention to the screen. And just to threaten, if there's a lot of people not listening at the back of the room, I'm going to start to sing. And if anyone's heard my singing, you want me to just use the spoken word. I would be... waiting for it to link up for the presentation. Great. I would be remiss in if not mentioning the fact that the Indigenous peoples predated Canada for thousands of years. And I could spend my entire presentation on beautiful images. I go first with travel ads, tall, jagged mountains, wild and rugged coastlines. I might even be tempted to pictures of iconic architecture, such as the Parliament buildings in Ottawa or Toronto's CN Tower. Of course, being from near Vancouver, I could give you a picture of majestic mountains, iconic architecture, and beautiful coastline all in one photo. I could also tempt you with pictures of iconic food, such as poutine. And I have to add my thanks for us welcoming food from other nations so that we have food like butter chicken and pizza. No survey of Canadian symbols would be complete without a picture of the Mounties. But being from Northern Ontario and Manitoba, I think it's probably more appropriate to have a mosquito image of perhaps biting a Mountie. Perhaps it was the Vancouver 2010 Olympics, but Canada's really come of age as a sporting nation. And this particular photo was taken by my son when Canada beat the US in men's ice hockey. And remember that one. I won't talk about subsequent Olympics or anything, but that was a moment. And it is Canada's winter national sport. But we play a lot of games well. This is James Paxton. He's a Canadian-born pitcher, pitching a very rare no-hitter, and unfortunately it was against Canada's only professional baseball team, the Toronto Blue Jays. Ouch. Here's the best women's soccer player in the world, Christine Sinclair, who also has, who also has an honorary degree from Simon Fraser University. Double yay! Actually, Renee, you should have been up here with a spoken word. I'm sorry. And here is a beautiful afternoon in Stanley Park playing one of India's major sports, cricket. Yeah. This crowd is really into it. I really love it. It's hard to define sometimes what it is to be Canadian. So sometimes we define ourselves by what we are not, which is to say we're not American. And today I think that's a really appropriate class. Here, for example, is a group of very typical Canadians, and you can tell they're typical because they all have excellent health care and none of them is carrying a gun. Canadians are famously polite and diffident. We're the people who apologize when you step on our toes, which is funny, and Canadians are funny. Think about the great comedians working around the world, and a statistical improbable number are Canucks, like Russell Peters. Even our national symbol is funny. Indians honor the powerful tiger and the deadly king cobra. We cuddle up to the humble beaver. But anyone who's ever tried to stop a beaver from damming a waterway will know that they're incredibly innovative, creative, and endlessly industrious. Canadians have refined these qualities with the best education system in the world. And with fewer than 40 million people, we have built the world's 10th largest economy, partly on the strength of our natural resources. But the fastest growing element in our economy is high tech. And reflecting all the things that we've designed and developed because we have a well-educated and entrepreneurial population. This is a picture of the Morpho butterfly, which an SFU team used as inspiration for creating one of the most advanced anti-counterfeiting technologies in the world. Now, I don't want to be accused of having glossed over Canada's faults, because we have many. After all, Metro Vancouver is home to the $2 million knocked out bungalow. I think this was last month, so I don't know, has it gone up or down since then, but we also have significant problems with social innovation and with mental health and addictions. We contribute to and face risk from climate change, and we have heated national battles over energy projects and environmental protection. It's also important to remember that Canada does have a history of racist incidents. It's not enough to apologize for the conduct of a rude. We must be ever vigilant to make sure things like this never happen again. Support a strong new passion for reconciliation with Canada's Indigenous peoples. Finally, perhaps the best part of Canada is our rich cultural diversity, our tolerance, and our respect of equality. Oops, I'm going to go back. Ours is a country with a proud record of welcoming new immigrants, refugees, people whose contributions have made Canada wealthy, healthy, and generous. In many ways, a model for the world. So let us cherish and share Canada's natural beauty. Let's take pride in our social strength, our economic success, and our excellent healthcare system. And together with our youth reaching out for a better future, let us celebrate our Canada. I had to put it in once, right? And tonight in particular, let us celebrate our Indian-Canada connection. We share many characteristics and values. Both countries are expansive, democratic, diverse, entrepreneurial, innovative, committed to education and public health, and humorous. And it's these common values and our differing strengths that make collaborations like CINI so productive and so exciting. So let's together work to build strong and enduring relationships for the benefit of peoples of our Canada and our India. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Curry. That was enlightening and entertaining. That was perfect. So you've seen Canada. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Anupam Sibal. He's the Vice President of the Global Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, Group Medical Director at Apollo Hospitals, and author of the best-selling book, Is Your Child Ready to Face the World? I got a signed copy and I'm looking forward to reading that. And he'll be presenting My India. You'll want to pay close attention to this.
Good evening, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal. It's a privilege to be here this evening. The first Indian immigrants landed in Canada in 1903. In the last 50 years, the bond between our two countries has become really strong. And it's not surprising, because we have so much in common. We both love peace. India has never invaded any country in her glorious history of 10,000 years. The father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, gave the world the message, an eye for an eye will leave the whole world blind. Canada has no weapons of mass destruction since 1984. We are both robust democracies. Canada, the second largest country in the world, in the last election saw 17.5 million voters, 7% more than the 2011 election. India, the largest democracy in the world and the second largest country in terms of population, saw 553 million people vote in the last election. That is more than the combined population of the United States, United Kingdom, Japan, and Australia. And what can be a bigger testament to the vibrancy of Indian democracy that for one voter, Mr. Darshan Das in Banej village in Junagadh district in the Gir forest in Gujarat, the election commission sets up a polling station every year because no voter in India should have to travel more than 2 kilometers to cast his vote for one single voter. We have respect for all religions. India is the birthplace of 4 major world religions. 21 languages are spoken in Canada. In India, we have 22 official languages and 1,652 dialects. We love our festivals, don't we? The Canadians love them, the Indians love them. In India, we have a major festival every 6 days. You can find Indians in every country of the world other than 3 countries. And I won't name those countries. But wherever Indians go, Indians leave an indelible mark. In the United States, the most educated and most affluent among all racial and ethnic groups are Indians. Indians make up 2% of the British population, but guess what? 12% of all doctors in Britain are Indian. And what can I say about Canada? You have 4 cabinet ministers of Indian descent. According to the latest census, people of Indian origin now total up to 1.2 million in Canada. That is 3.5% of Canada's population. Let me just take you back to India to see how India has changed in the last 25 years. In 1991, we had no internet. Only 76 million people had access to a telephone. We had 1 nationalized television channel. We had 1 airline. And our foreign exchange reserves were just about $6 billion. Turn to 2018. We have 460 million Indians who have access to the internet. We have 1.18 billion phone users. We have 857 television channels. When I left India 2 days ago, by the time I get back, there might be 862. We have 26 airlines. Our foreign exchange reserves, as of last week, were $430 billion, and India is the 3rd largest economy in the world in terms of purchasing power parity, the 5th largest economy in the world. India has made rapid progress in space technology. We routinely launch satellites for different countries. In 2017, we launched 104 satellites in a single flight. Many of us watched the movie Gravity. It cost $100 million to make. The Indian mission to Mars, the first global mission which was successful in its maiden attempt, cost $74 million. We understand frugal innovation. And the reason why I say frugal innovation, because the future of healthcare is going to be about connected health. It's going to be about virtual consults. It's going to be about connected devices. It's going to be about electronic medical records. It's going to be records that everybody carries on their cell phone. It's going to be about medical response centers. It's going to be about apps. And for that, you need technology. You need IT. And who can do it better than the Indian techie at a price that the world can afford? Because let's not forget, where would the world be without zero? When India became independent in 47, we had only 17 medical colleges, 50,000 doctors, 1,400 doctors graduated every year. We didn't really have any super specialty. And this is shocking. The life expectancy of an average Indian was 31 years. And our infant mortality rate was 146. Turn to 2018. We have 460 medical schools. We have close to 1 million docs. We produce 64,000 doctors every year. That's nearly half of the doctors that you have in Canada. The average life expectancy now is 68 years. And the infant mortality rate has come down to 34. But there is a lot to be done. And that's why Dr. Reddy, the chairman of Apollo Hospitals, Sankura, past president of API, Ramesh Mehta, the president of BAPIO, and a few of us got together and drawing inspiration from what Mahatma Gandhi had said, I will not wait till I have converted the whole society to my view, but will straight away make a beginning with myself, established GAPIO, the Global Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, with the idea of bringing 1.2 million doctors of Indian origin on one platform. There are 2.1 212,000 physicians of Indian origin across the globe. In the last 9 years, we now have representation across 34 countries. We were delighted when our Prime Minister sent out a message supporting GAPIO. There are numerous activities that we are involved in, from charitable clinics to school camps, to eye camps, to a campaign against obesity, to high altitude healthcare facilities, to leadership development programs. We meet twice a year, once in January, close to the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, that is when Mahatma Gandhi came back to India from South Africa, and once a year we meet outside India, and we are so delighted to be here in beautiful British Columbia. Thank you so much for the warm welcome that we have received. And actually, as you walk down the streets of Surrey, it seems like you are in Patiala. I say Patiala because the population of Patiala is a little bit less than Surrey. I think there is a wonderful opportunity for Indian and Canadian physicians to come together, and I'd like to thank Dr. Arun Garg, CINS, for bringing GAPIO together, and I think we will establish a collaboration that will be transformative. Because let us not forget, there can be no stronger allies than India and Canada, because respect for democracy, a multicultural, multi-religious, multilingual society, and peace bind us. Jai Hind, Jai Canada.
Thank you so much. I mean, you look at just that one slide that showed the improvements in India in about 17 years, 1947 to today, in the area of health, and you see something like that, that's a relative short period of time, and the amount of change that has happened, and it's inspiring what can come to the future. And I like to think that CINI has done something similar. This is the third conference. There was CINI 2010, CINI 2014, and you look at the changes and improvements that have happened over the past 8 years. And one of the examples was that from the conferences, one of the recommendations is that it's not just about going to your doctor and saying, "Doc, I'm hurt, I'm sick, fix it for me." I mean, that's often not going to work. One of the recommendations is that individuals needed to take ownership of their health. And I'm proud of the work that CINS, CINI, all the partners that you've heard about have done in making
This also serves as a sound check. When I combine all the notes, that's what you hear. Can we get some more overall volume here for the instruments as well? So this year, Canada has pigeons, so does India. So this composition has to do with pigeons, how the pigeons will coo. In Hindi we call it gudrugu. So on the left hand, you'll hear how the pigeons are cooing. On the right hand, you'll hear how the wings are flapping as they all congregate. I hope you guys enjoy this.
I was delighted that a minister recognizes that it's the people to people which is going to bring trade. And Canada-India Network Society dream is to build people. So though it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a whole city to build Canada-India relationship. And each one of you who is here tonight, each one of you who are believing in this vision, and Canada needs India, believe you me, more than anything. The trade, the economics, the people, the diversity, the culture is so huge. We have an opportunity and we must not let it go. And each one of you are part of it. Each one of you. And that's the city we're building. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. And thank you from the bottom of my personal heart, from my family, to support me in having a dream and putting it together. Thank you. There are many, many of you, and I didn't even know that they're going to play that video, and I think video captured the spirit, so I'm going to cut that out and go right to the chase and recognize some very, very, very important people in our journey. These are the institutes. Last night, we recognized the individuals. 9 key individuals, the builders, the leaders, the achievers, the healers. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, magical moment for me to say and recognize those people. Tonight, we move to our institutional partners, our institutional groups. And the reason I say that is that if we're going to have sustainability, and there is a model here in terms of how to get things done, if we're going to have success, we have to have individual emotions, individual passion, individual determination to get things done. But most important, we need to honor our institutes. Canada, one of the biggest strengths of Canada is to have these institutes. And I've been very fortunate to be part of them. So tonight, with your permission, we're going to recognize 5 great institutes which have helped Canada-India Network Society. And I have a belief that they are going to transform healthcare. Minister, they're going to transform healthcare. They're going to bring sustainability of healthcare through their efforts. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing these individuals or institutes. First one I want to call is one of our co-hosts, Fraser Health. And what I want to share with you is going back to 2008. And the CEO of that time and I shared an elevator ride. And Michael always tells me, Garg, you are a good salesman. I don't know what to do with you. But ladies and gentlemen, so this elevator ride in the BCMA building, I said, I have a dream. By the time we were down to the elevator, I had my dream fulfilled. So ladies and gentlemen, we recognize Fraser Health. And since 2010, as David already alluded to, Fraser Health has been a foundational partner. Fraser Health has an ambition to be a global leader in population health. And South Asian population is just an example. It's scalable, it's applicable to total population. Recommendations of creating South Asian Health Institute, recommendation of behavior modification to declare war on diabetes, recommendation to engage mental health, that's the next frontier. And the most important is women's health, and we're going to make some dent in that. Ladies and gentlemen, if pregnancy is looked after, the epigenetics is the next frontier of prevention. We don't realize what happens in utero exposure, and I think Fraser Health can play a very big role in it, given the size, given the diversity, and I think we're going to go there. And what I want to share with you is Fraser Health, all the way from president to all the workers, have supported me. I will request my friend, CEO and president of Fraser Health, to come forward to accept the plaque on behalf of CINS. There are several very critical people from Fraser Health here at the table of the vice president of everything you name, they're here. Victoria Lee, who heads she's my boss, so I have to say, she is the vice president responsible for South Asian Health Institute, and I have this euphemistic title, Program Medical Director. That's the only program where one guy working off the desk running a program. So Victoria, thank you. Anyway, Michael, if you will come forward. Next one I want to recognize is none other than Simon Fraser University. My son went to Simon Fraser. I was a professor at Simon Fraser in 1979. I started when I was 5 years old, but that was a long time ago. And I have cherished my relationship with Simon Fraser University. But 2005, everything changed. When then President Michael Stevenson and our Dr. John Curry somehow facilitated a conversation, and life has not been the same ever since. They created India Advisory Committee, and Joanne spoke so well. I think in her last birth, she was in India. Anyway, that relationship has blossomed. India Advisory Committee has held. Simon Fraser University is one of the most connected universities with the community. And they have a very special relationship with CINS. They've been our co-host right from the beginning. And Andrew, as a matter of fact, has challenged me, has guided me, and has told me, Simon Fraser is here to do the things. So I have taken that to the heart. And Andrew, thank you very much for all your support. Please come forward to accept our small token of appreciation. The next partner we want to recognize is none other than British Columbia Institute of Technology, a premier institute of technology. We don't realize what a gem we have in British Columbia in BCIT. I have had the fortune of working with BCIT since 1983 when I was the chair of their advisory committee of laboratory medicine. Their model of training, I wish we could take that model to India. It's a unique model. That's a dream I have, and one day it will come true. Kathy Kinlock has told me, Arun, it will come true. So I'm really waiting for that, this dream of taking BCIT model of training and teaching. India was transformed because of the establishments of IITs. Now it's time to move to a model which covers all the way from trade to technology to PhD. And BCIT does all that. I've been very fortunate to be part of BCIT journey, and they have also been our sponsor at a platinum level right from 2010. And this journey is continuing, and I'm very pleased that now I'm personally engaged with BCIT in taking this journey to the next frontier of moving medicine, taking action in portable technology in tuberculosis, taking action against TB. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, BCIT is going to play a major role in this relationship. They have one of the largest Indian student population now among their students. So Kathy Kinlock, please come forward to accept our token of of our collaboration at the institutional level has been what we call in Canada, public institutes. Canada has a unique blend of public and private. I think we have found a balance where innovation, technology, personal commitment matches system development, equity, and common good. But we do need relationships with industry. And we've been very fortunate to be supported by many, many members of the industry. And our sponsorship includes those. Please do say hello to them. Our sponsor sheets, and it's all on your table, all the way from Beckman Coulter, Roche, LifeLab, Apollo, Dr. Lau's Lab, Genevis, London Drug, MD Management, they all have been part of this journey. But one group which has supported us from day one is Medtronics Canada. They've been our platinum sponsor, and they have a commonality of vision of building Canada-India relationship. So, with your permission, I would like to recognize Medtronics Canada for their support and our hope that some big change can come about, a true partnership, a public-private partnership, a true partnership between common thinkers. CINS has the unique ability to play a role as an honest broker. We are not an advocate of anything. We are not an advocate. We are a facilitator. We are a catalyst. We are a collaborator, but an honest, accountable collaborator. Keep everybody hold to account. And so far, this has played its dividend. So I will ask Jean McDonald and Michael Emery to come forward to accept on behalf of Medtronics Canada, the president. Neil Fraser couldn't be here with us, but he did send a greetings. So Michael and Jean. Jean has a very special relationship with CINS. He was one of the founding members to support and come forward. So ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands in welcoming. Last but not the least, we want to recognize Canada and India Network Society want to recognize a dear friend, a mover, a shaker, a builder, and a doer. I don't know if any one of you have phoned Anita Huberman on the phone. She's never there. But her voicemail is there. And that voicemail is so inspirational. I do not know of anybody who can have a voicemail with that tune, with that enthusiasm, and that beauty. Anita is that. I still recall meeting Anita in 2008 when I described the dream building Surrey as a major hub for Canada, India. And all she said was, I'm with you, go and do it. And we've been together since. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome none other than Anita Huberman, President, CEO Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my formal part of the presentation. I could go on, but I again want to acknowledge the support of every one of you have given to our ideas, our vision. There is a long journey. We are, through our program, declaring war on diabetes. and I already had some very good conversations with the minister, and he knows that I'm going to follow that minister. So, and I think there are so much work we can do, and I think Canada and India can all benefit. And we have great partners, great friendship, and now especially with Gapio, Kapi, and these are supporting us. I think if Doctors of Canada, and I really would hope that Canadian Medical Association, through its engagement, there is a transformation going on in Canadian Medical Association, and I think we're going to capture that as a witness. You could see Granger is here, Eric is here, so I think we are connected. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
First, we have one more announcement to make. This is the Board of Members.
Meeting down.
We do recognize that we're standing between you and dinner, so we'll make this really brief. As Manish said earlier, Dr. Garg is up every 2 hours through the night, so there's very little that goes on the board of Canada-India Network Society that he's not aware of. However, in the true spirit of democracy between Canada and India, we, the board, took a vote, and we have brought a little change in right at the end of our presentation here this evening. Through this conference and the past two conferences, we've talked about collaboration, partnerships, change. It takes a village to raise a child, and many other words that we've heard over the past three conferences that we've had. But we know a biochemist that moved to Canada, Saskatchewan, Canada, a few years ago. He met his wife, Lori, who I would say is his best friend. They moved to British Columbia and had their wonderful son, Davin. And Dr. Garg started working at Royal Columbian Hospital, where he has been for 48 years. So we, the board members, on behalf of all of you and our partners, we would like to call Dr. Garg back up to the stage, and we would like to recognize you for being the catalyst for Canada-India network partnerships, collaborations, and really building healthy civil societies, not only between Canada and India, but globally. Thank you, our fearless, tireless leader.
This is awesome because Dr. Garg had no idea that he was going to get an award. Even to the point in our syllabus, we had at the end, our closing, we had made up stuff. So Dr. Garg didn't know he was going to. Congratulations, Dr. Garg, you're amazing.
Surprise, I didn't know. Thank you, thank you.
So we pulled it off. That pretty much concludes the presentation, the program, and coming up next is going to be food, right?
Yeah, all I can say.
Going for your dinner, I do want to acknowledge the presence of Doctors of BC President Eric Cassidy. Eric, yeah, so thank you very much for coming.
Aj Television here live at the Royal Banquet Hall, where you got CINS Society, who's been doing some wonderful work, of course headed by our good friend Arun Garg. He has been instrumental not only connecting the people that are here in Canada, but the initiative that he's taken on trying to get a lot of the stuff going between India and Canada. In this room, you've got anybody and everybody. You've got people who are basically the leaders of this community, leaders of the universities and societies and so forth. It's very heartfelt for us to be even present here. So please, let's welcome Arun here onto our show.
I'm very happy to be here. The room is buzzing. We have over 500 people. Canada-India Network Society was established to bring people together, collaborate, and work towards creating healthy civil society. We started in 2010, and in 8 years, we have achieved milestones of many things. And tonight is the epitome of that coming together. Our purpose is very simple. We collaborate, we catalyze, we bring people together, we connect dots to make things happen. Our focus is health and healthy society. And through healthy society, we create civil society. Civil society has a focus on education, justice, and health. And we have chosen health as one of our pillars. And it's working. Since we started, Fraser Health has adopted us. Fraser Health has taken our recommendations and have created South Asian Health Institute, which really is going to carry on as an institutional sustainability for better health. We have one of the largest South Asian population in British Columbia. Our community suffers from the largest numbers of diabetes. So our maqsad, our mission, our dhyan is how to lower the burden of diabetes. Through this conference, we are declaring war on diabetes. And it's very innovative. Our declaration is we want all the listeners, all the people who watch this show to engage with us. It's up to you. It's the self-management. It's the engaging of each one of you that we're going to make a difference. How you live, my big thing is 5 Ks. 5 Ks of क्या खाते हो, कितना खाते हो, कब खाते हो, क्यों खाते हो, कैसे खाते हो. And it's about nutrition. Our community can use that. And Fraser Health has now institutionalized our program through Sehat. And I'm very proud of that. Our next frontier is going to be mental health, because that's addiction. Alcohol is a huge problem. We should recognize that. Mental health is a silent killer. We suffer. We are reluctant to bring it out. Through SAHI, through Sehat, through CINS, through these conferences, we are bringing that out in the open. And I'm very hopeful that it will work locally. If it works locally, we're going to take it to India and connect the two people. What's very clear to me is to build relationship between Canada and India, you need individual relationships. It's not good enough to go and say create a structure and do some work and create more bureaucracy. Doesn't bring results. Our culture is very individual. We are individual people, and that's what CINS is all about. That's what CINI is all about. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Someone like yourself who's been a doctor for more than 48 years here, you must have seen it all, and you're so busy. How do you find the inspiration to take on such a big task as creating this network?
Well, I think inspiration comes from the blessings. As you know, we are all part of a very ancient traditional civilization. And the inspiration from our heritage, our belief in ourselves comes. So I think what is unique is, what I'm blessed is, that Canada has the support. Each one support each other. And we are delighted that we are part of it. So my inspiration is ideas, because I believe in our heritage. And our heritage, we need to do something. And that's where what drives me. What I have found is that in our heritage, yoga plays a very big role. People don't understand what yoga is. Yoga is not just exercise and doing asanas. Yoga is really way of life. Yoga is spirituality to living day-to-day life. So my inspiration is through Raj Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jan Yoga, and above all, Gyan Yoga. And I'll be remiss if I don't recognize my family. That's my biggest inspiration. My wife, I've been married 48 years now. She has been my rock. And that's what my inspiration is.
That's so nice. But you know, to bring all these wonderful people, some of the strongest leaders here. I've seen the leader of the Liberal Party and a few other big shots. You've got a head of Fraser Health and so forth. To bring all these people under your leadership to do community work, that's where things are at. Obviously, you know, you've taken that kind of load. You must make the community very proud and actually get the work done that needs to be done. So what is it that you need from the community to actually get to the next level, your future vision?
Thank you very much for asking that. I think our community can do wonder. My belief is that Canada is built in generations by newcomers. I think of our community as a relatively newcomer, but my friends, our time has come. Our community must play its role. And I think they're going to play that role. I'm definite. So my ask from the community is support each other. Let's stay united, work together as a unity, support our efforts, which are in health. We have created now a very special fund called South Asian Health Fund. And the uniqueness of this fund is that it will be directed towards targeted projects. And so we will see some outcomes. So if the spirit moves you, support that fund. Let's work together. We have open health committees in gurdwaras and in temples. I think that's the other place where action is. So support that. If we could be of any help to you, contact us and we will see what we could do. But the biggest message for our community is we must all work together to produce the most charitable, most desirable, healthy community, and more important, civil, healthy society.
Beautiful. There you go, folks. You know, when it comes to health, health is wealth. We all talk about it, but not many people will stand up and become the leader. You've seen our friend here who's been a doctor for over 48 years, and what he's done here is just a small example of his legacy, what he's leaving behind and going forward. We need to unite. We need to not only appreciate what he's doing, but we need to listen to his advice, because what he's saying is he's trying to make your family stronger. If we don't have a voice, we don't reach out, we're not going to get things done. We need to honor our leaders, and this fella here is one of our strongest leaders. Please join hands and let's go forward with Arun and make this happen. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Patrick Walsh with Oz Media, and I'm here with Dr. Suman, and we are at the CINS event, and he's going to talk a little bit about this organization and what he does, how he's involved with it. Hi, Dr. Suman.
Hi, Patrick.
Thank you very much for having this conversation with us today.
Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you very much for having me, and thank you for coming down here. Oz team I know is very enthusiastic, very exciting, energetic team. Suki I know for a long time, and is doing so much work in the community. So I'm glad you guys are here.
That's wonderful. So tell us how you got involved with this organization.
So very good question. In fact, very recently, I would say just a year back, I met Dr. Arun Garg, who has founded this organization called CINI, Canada India Network Initiative, right? And I came across, in fact, the lead actually happened right here in this banquet hall. I met this person called Manish Nanda, who is also the board member of this CINI organization. And at that time, we had our stall here. There was a mental health event that was going on here. And I've co-founded a non-profit 12 years back called Peace Tree Innovation Society, a Center for Wellness and Oneness. And we do lots of grassroots transformation work for mental health. So I had a booth here, and Manish walked around, and he was walking around, and he came to our booth, and he saw what we were doing. And within a week, he set up a meeting with Dr. Garg, and he said, you know, what we are doing, and then we connected right away. And Dr. Garg loved what we are doing at the grassroots for the community. And he actually attended a couple of sessions that I was doing in libraries, and he loved the work that we are doing. And he said, Suman, you need to be part of our work, and that 2018 is the conference CINI conference coming up, and that is how I was invited to speak. So this morning I've actually spoken on meditation and mental health, and also sharing a lot of connections and meeting other people who are doing similar work.
And we were talking there a little bit earlier about some alternative mental health approaches too, when we're dealing with, as you mentioned, we're dealing with overstimulation of negative activity that's going on in society, in the media and the press, and probably we have to be able to address that too, as well as the malnutrition that people have. The biochemistry is not in balance, and a lot of individuals probably could be misdiagnosed because of lack of good nutritional balance. What do you have to say about that?
So very good question. There are different approaches to mental health. The reason being, I think we as a society have evolved in many ways, right? There are good ways and there are also, I think, bad ways, right? So in the past, if you look at the ancient ways of living, were in harmony with nature, in harmony with themselves. People had time to reflect. The mind was not bombarded with all this information. Of course, technology is great, it's taking us to the Mars, but I think as we go away from ourselves to Mars and moons and to the outer galaxies, we are forgetting the most precious resource right here. We are never taking time to go within, we are going way far out from ourselves. So in that process, I think what we are doing with the sensory experiences, we are creating this mind, what I call a monster mind, right? And what are we filling that with the mind is all these experiences of good, bad and ugly, traumatic experiences, emotional experiences, sensory experiences, and it fills up all the subconscious mind. There is so much of information. Instead of keeping that mind and using it for a proper purpose, we are making the master out of that mind. Instead of mastering the mind, we are making mind the master, and we're becoming a slave to those sensory experiences and traumatic experiences, and over a period of time this is leading to mental illness. So now the reason why we need to go back to some of these ancient wisdom cultures where things like meditation, yoga, breathing, and some of these amazing practices were used to actually get in touch with the true self, right? And when you get in touch with that pure self, which is an embodiment of peace, embodiment of love, compassion, then there's automatically transformation. Go ahead.
So more the spiritual definition of the psyche rather than the medical definition, which does not necessarily address medically the psyche or the spirit, because they don't really coincide, they don't go together. It's very interesting that you're going back to the traditional definition, the original definition of psychiatry or psychology, and the way that you're explaining and dealing with the spirit, the soul within.
Yes.
I want to say thank you very much for having this meeting today. It's been inspiring, enlightening, but I'll ask you real quick, how did you like the event? It's really a lot of people here from all different professions.
What Dr. Garg has done is phenomenal. If you look at the scale of the event, it is simply mind-blowing. You have the best of the best from the whole Lower Mainland, from Canada, from India, assembling at one place. You have vice chancellors, presidents of the universities, presidents of these world organizations from around the world, doctors, some of the best healers, some of the best scientists, gathering together, healthcare workers, healthcare providers, and everyone coming under one umbrella. It's a phenomenal experience. Like the initiative of CINI itself is to bring engagement through social innovation and technology. So I think it's a phenomenal event, and no one else could have done it better than Dr. Garg and his team.
Well, it's been an honor to be here. Fantastic. I'm so glad we had this time to talk. Patrick Walsh at the CINS event with Aj Media. Thank you. I'm talking to Mr. Parminder. And tell me, sir, what is your profession? What do you do?
I'm a managing director with the Desjardins Financial Security Independent Network. So I manage their entire team for BC. So I have a team of over 500 advisors working with us.
All right. So what brought you here tonight at this event?
I know Dr. Arun Garg for many years, and the work he's doing, he's very instrumental in the community, bringing a lot of good stuff together. And I'm happy to be here to support the good cause, and they're bringing up a lot of things together, like especially the mental health issue is huge, and we need to pay more attention to that. So this is a great step towards that problem, and dealing and bringing resources together to deal with that.
Yes, and the conversation is going in the direction of really helping people with the traumas and stresses they have in their life so that their tolerance level comes up and so on. So how is this event going so far?
This event, I was very impressed with the event because all the main people like SFU, BCIT, Surrey Board of Trade, and all the main organizations who are fundamental blocks of the society. So they are all here to support the cause because they are connected to that. And that's what I love about Dr. Arun Garg. He's a tireless man and works so hard every day.
That's very good. And you've been involved in this particular subject matter for some time. So what motivated you? Why are you passionate about the general health of people?
Health is very important because it does not matter how much money you have. If your health is not good, it's nothing. That money means nothing. So I've seen many friends and relatives loaded with the money, but they didn't have good health. So they're no longer with us. So that's why this kind of cause is very close to my heart. And I wanted to give back somehow before the time runs out. So I wanted to be there for other people. So that's why I'm here to support the good cause.
So where do you see the future going, in what direction? Some people say, it's all alternative, it's all going back toward nature. Some other people say it's more of the science of the same traditional medical health care. And there seems to be a bit of a divide in that. Where do you see the bridge being built between the two?
I think to me, I think we have to have a balance of everything. We cannot just focus on one thing and forget about the other. So you take the benefits of both and bridge it together to have the best possible health in the world.
Excellent. Parminder, that's who I'm talking to. And it's been a real pleasure, sir. I'm so glad that we had this time to talk to each other.
Thank you.
And anything you want to say to somebody out there special in your life?
I just wanted to say Dr. Arun Garg and his team doing a wonderful job and working towards a great cause. I want everybody to be there for them and support as much as they can. Thank you.
I'm Patrick Walsh, and I'm here talking to Indraji. Nice to meet you at the CINS event at the Surrey downtown here. And you're going to tell us a little bit about what you do and how you became involved in this particular organization. And okay, go ahead.
I'm with the PICS. I'm in charge of PICS senior care facilities, which we run assisted living, independent living, and also day program for seniors. This is the first public-funded senior care facility in Canada, I would say, in North America. Yeah. So, okay, we just take care of seniors who want to live their life with dignity and respect. And what we offered, 24-hour care in assisted living, where they are able to eat their own food, they can speak in their own language what problem they are having. We have staff who they speak 7-8 different languages. We have program for them. We have activity coordinator who arrange their outing trips to Mandir Masjid, to shopping centers and parks. And we would like you to come out and see. And also, we are very proud to say that we are rated number 1 facility in the Fraser Health region. Because that's survey done by independently by by Fraser Health, and we are rated #1 facility here in Fraser Health region. Yeah.
Well, I would love to come out, and Aj would love to accept your invitation, because what you're doing is revolutionary in the context that we are really treating people with the dignity and with the support they need, so their later years can evolve into something pleasurable rather than painful.
Also, our day program for seniors, they come in the morning and goes home at night. This gives their loved one breaks too, because it's very, very tiring for them, taking care of them. Also, this is, I would say, this is a win-win situation for the seniors, for health-wise, and for the community, and for the government too. End of the day, they save a lot of money, because we have a staff who, check their vital signs. Is there any problem? They can refer them to a doctor, and that's less trips to the emergency department. And end of the day, they stay healthy, and also, the government save money. And also the staff teach them, we have a menu there, prepared by a registered dietitian, and who are expert in South Asian, food and all that. And this way, they learn, about healthy food, healthy living, and all that.
Listen, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Very much. Thanks for having me.
I would like very much for you to be in touch with us so we can come down and see your facility. I'm Patrick Walsh with Aj Media at the CINS event. I'm talking to Andrew here, and he's going to tell us about why he's here and how he likes the organization and what they're accomplishing and anything else that he would like to contribute. Hi, Andrew.
Sure. How are you doing?
Good, sir.
Good to see you. So I'm Andrew Wilkinson. I'm the leader of the BC Liberal Party, and we run the opposition here in British Columbia. And I'm here at the Canada-India Networking Initiative, which is a great opportunity to build those relationships with Canada and India. My dad was born in India. I've been there many times, and so it's a really intellectual hotbed in India, and we've got to make sure that we're connected with it through events like this.
All right. So how do you see the political support for some of the different initiatives that's being introduced? Because it's coming from a variety of sources, and people have different ideas about how to take care of their health care. Where do you see the Liberal government being able to contribute to probably accommodate most of them?
Well, we're going through a big transformation in healthcare. It was referred to earlier this evening by one of the special folks from India who said that there's a big move toward network medical records and medical records in the computing cloud, and that's going to be a really important area. We'll be moving ahead on that when we form government.
Excellent. So a person having a choice of their health care and what they want to be able to do and so on and so forth, is there any effort on the alternative side where you have certain services or whatever that's not covered right now. Is there any direction to study those policy changes, if there are any?
These things are always evaluated on their merits, and there's some things that have been brought in, like acupuncture has been brought into the medical services plan. Other things have got to be evaluated to prove their way and find their way over time, and we look forward to that.
Well, Andrew, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, good to see you.
I want to talk to you again sometime, and we'll see how you're doing, how the Liberal Party's doing. I'm talking to Gurdeep. Hi, how are you? And I'm talking also to Samantha. And these two fine people are going to tell us why they're here at the CINS event. Okay, we just moved that fellow out of the way there. All right, and so what brings you folks to this event?
So we're both with the Faculty of Medicine and specifically the Dean's Office at UBC. Healthcare is obviously a big part of what the Faculty of Medicine does. So we train health professionals, doctors and occupational therapists and physiotherapists and midwives and a whole spectrum of health professionals, but we also do a lot of research. And for the South Asian community, it's important that we provide service, but we also continue doing research into the areas that are important, especially around chronic disease.
All right, and Samantha, and what's your contribution to this subject matter?
Well, I think as part of my colleague Gurdeep said, really part of that is our working closely with the community. And one of the things that we're really excited about is that we recently launched a new school of biomedical engineering, which is a partnership between the Faculty of Medicine and Applied Science. And that's really where we have an opportunity to really get new technologies and innovations right into the heart of the community and working very closely with the communities as a whole.
And you're doctors, so what exactly is your position?
I'm the Senior Director Office of the Dean and Strategic Initiatives with the Faculty of Medicine.
All right, so what do you think of the event here? It looks like it's a major success. There's tons of people here, professionals from all over the world, I guess. And so what's your take on the event so far?
I think it's been fabulous. Dr. Aaron Garg's leadership has brought together people from research, has brought people from a whole bunch of academic institutions. And what's really important is all these topics are super important for the South Asian community and frankly can be scaled up from the South Asian community to all British Columbians. And I think that's important.
Excellent. And what do you take from this event?
I think it's just a really fantastic opportunity. I mean, we see a lot of great individuals here around the room where we get to network and work together to really advance innovations for healthcare for the communities as a whole and for BC as a whole, which I think is really important to see.
Excellent. I want to thank you both for this little interview. It's a pleasure to meet you. You're both lovely people. And good luck on all the goodwill that you're doing.